But even if it was all correct, you still can't do microfoundations, because what that involves is extrapolating. If you think about what the model does, gives you a model of an isolated consumer and an isolated firm, and then aggregates them to the market level. Okay? Extrapolates. It doesn't actually add them up, it extrapolates. And it can't be done, which the Sonnenschein-Mandel-de-Boer theorem itself shows, but real sciences don't do it either. Now, what is going on is that we've persuaded ourselves we're doing reductionism. We've taken reductionism to the nth degree. But what we're actually doing is constructionism. We're trying to construct the aggregate by extrapolating from the individual up. And that's what the new classicals thought they were doing when they did microfoundations. And here's Lucas back when he began the whole critique of what he called Keynesian economics. The structure of econometric models consists of the optimal decision rules of economic agents. So you model the decision-making rules and you extrapolate that to the macro level. And this whole fixation with deriving macro from micro came from this idea that we had to make it consistent. We had to get results in macro that are identical to what we get in microeconomics. That's what Anderson called construction, of which I mentioned earlier, trying to extrapolate from a single component to get the macro level. And I just love sending this stuff up, but I'll go through the argument that Al Anderson made very seriously. The ability to reduce everything to simple fundamental laws does not imply you can start from those laws and reconstruct the universe. And the main attack was scale and complexity make that impossible. The behaviour of large and complex aggregates is not understood by simple extrapolation. But that's what neoclassical micro to macro has done. And this is a beautiful expression of it. At the least level of complexity, entirely new properties appear, the understanding of which requires at least as fundamental thinking as at the lower level. So you can't derive from the micro from the macro. You put together this lovely little table saying that you can actually say that the elementary entities of one science obey the laws of science Y. So chemistry obeys many body physics, and molecular biology obeys chemistry, cell biology obeys molecular biology, psychology has to be consistent with physiology, and social sciences derive from psychology. But he says that hierarchy does not mean science X is just applied Y. Okay? At each stage you need to have new laws, new concepts. And he finishes up by saying psychology is not applied biology, nor is biology applied chemistry. And my punchline is macroeconomics is not applied micro. Just to give you my favourite way of sending this up, if it were true that that's how you did science, then a biology question in an exam would be, please take these chemicals and make life. Okay? It's absurd, but that's what we've been doing in economics, pretending we can make macro from micro by adding the components together. Now, again, let's send this up. How do we understand, we've all got it sitting in front of us, this stuff, you know. We've got masses and masses of molecules of H2O here. And they're all consist of water molecules that look like this. Now, is there an ice molecule? Okay. If I froze this with all these tons of molecules of ice, if I heated it, would they all be steam molecules? If I shook them up, would they turn into snowflake molecules? Okay. That's all nonsense. Okay. All these properties are emergent. They come out of the interaction of absolutely identical molecules of water. You cannot understand water without understanding the interaction of identical elements. Okay? So even the fact that water is a liquid, okay, is an emergent property. It's not, you can't derive it from you can't derive the properties of water from the properties of an isolated molecule of H2O. But we're trying to do that with micro from macro.